Hello everyone to this video. In this tutorial I will show you how to download and use Selenium using R language. So we will need some resources to configure this operation. First of all, you have to install the Chrome driver if you are interested in using the Chrome web browser, or you can download any other driver such as Firefox driver or Internet Explorer, or as well you can download drivers for the mobile browsers as well for Android and iOS. But in this tutorial I will use Google Chrome WebDriver. The second one is the Selenium server library in Java. Selenium server standalone Java library. It's available on their website, so we will see it and download it. The third step, I will show you how to execute this library so that the server will be online, so that we can send requests and receive responses from this server. And then I will start executing some R codes that communicate with the Selenium server, and we will use finally some methods, not in deep, but I will show you some methods in this library RSelenium. And finally you can have a full overview over the RSelenium documentation on their website. So let's start in downloading the Chrome driver. So we can navigate basically in this URL. So here are the current releases, so you can download the versions that you want. I'm already downloading this version, so you can see here under my folder, see driver. So here the Chrome driver is already downloaded on my PC. So after you download the Chrome driver, then you have to download the Selenium server standalone library from the Selenium website. So you can simply access the URL. And here is the Selenium server grid. The latest stable version is 3.141.59, which I have already downloaded today. So you can see here in documents. So here is the library already downloaded. So after you download these two things, you have to execute this server, to run this server. How to run this server? So we have three parameters. So first use Java using command prompt cmd, and then you will pass the driver Chrome extension. So which it's on C driver Chrome driver.exe as we show the previous step. And then we execute the jar library Selenium server standalone. So after this, the server will be alive, so we can access the server normally. So let's start with this operation. Now I will open my CMD, and then I will access downloads, because I'm working with the downloads directory. The Selenium standalone server is inside this folder. So I will copy paste only this statement, right click, copy, and here I will paste. So just you have to check that everything's working fine. Just you have to check that the Selenium standalone is the same version as it is in the downloads file, and the Chrome driver is on the right path, which is C driver Chrome driver.exe. And then we hit enter. So now the server is alive under the port of 4444. So if I go to the Chrome driver, so I click localhost, and here I click 4444. So now I can access the Selenium server, which is online now. So after we access the server, we have to initiate a new session before we can execute some codes in R. So to start a new session, we have to go to, or simply we can go through WD working directory and then /hub. So now we can create new sessions. So simply you can click here on create session. I click create session. So we choose the browser. We have already installed the Chrome driver. So I can only use the Chrome here. If I use Android or other browser, so I will fail. For example, Internet Explorer, I click OK. So I get an error, session not created error, unable to create new session, Internet Explorer driver service. So simply you can install IE driver and you can work simply with it. But now we are using Google Chrome. So we choose Chrome here and then OK. So the session is creating now, which is created now. So we have an instance of Google Chrome browser is running now. So I will close this simply. We can as well take screenshots. For example, if I will create new session here, another new session, Chrome as well, creating. So I click here, for example, google.com. Sorry, again, google.com. So if I take here a screenshot, so I will have a screenshot for the google.com, which is useful somehow. So I'll close this web browser, and I will use R to show how this process can be automated using R. I'm using RStudio. We'll start RStudio here. Of course, we have to install the package. So we can use install.packages, and we click here RSelenium, and we click enter. But the package is already installed on my PC. So I will use it simply. We can click here. It's already installed. Library. So we click here RSelenium. We choose it and we hit enter. So now the library is accessible. So what the first step is, we have to make a connection with the server, with this server that's alive now. So how to make this connection? After we are using this library, simply we can create a connection variable and use remote driver function. So, and this function take 3 arguments. The first one is the host name, which is localhost typically on Windows. Some of you can use Docker, by the way, but this tutorial is only oriented towards Windows. The second argument is the port. The port number, we can get it using the command line. So here we see that Selenium server is up and running on port 4444. Then we enter the browser name, which is Chrome in our case. And if you are using Firefox, you can click here simply Firefox. So I'll just copy paste this connection parameters and go back to RStudio and paste. So now I'll change the port number, which is 4444, and localhost, just confirming that everything is fine, and the browser name is Chrome, and now I hit enter. So now the connection is started. To open the connection, we simply access some methods. So we have a lot of methods under this library. So the first one is open. Open will open a new session. As we see here that we create a session. Now we are automating the process using RStudio. So connection, accessing open method. Open method. So here is connecting to server and the session is creating normally. So here we can see some information about this session. You can see that maximize this. Connecting to a remote server, accepting SSL, so no secure socket layers. We can enable this through some of the RStudio functions. Cache enabled false, browser name Chrome, Chrome driver version 2.35, which is the version of our case. Chrome driver extension and CSS selector enabled, so we can select elements by CSS. Database enabled false. So, and we have a lot of things, by the way. The version, the WebDriver session ID. So this session has an ID as well. So now we will see more about functions in this RSelenium library. So we can use the navigate. So we can navigate for some URL. But first, let me get the status of this connection. So we open the connection and we can get the status through this get status function. Get status here. So the status is true, it's ready. The server is running. The build version, the build time, which time we create this session. Operating system version, which is 64-bit in our case. Operating system name, which is Windows 10, and the operating system version, and the Java version. So all these are useful, by the way. Then if we want to open new URL, or we want to access a specific web page, so how to use this? We can simply access the navigate function, and we can send the argument, which is the URL, as a string. So now I will use here the connection and then navigate. So I will choose a URL. Let me choose http www.google.com. So what's happening now? So I send a URL to the live session, the Chrome browser, google.com, and now I'm inside this website. We can use a lot of function. We can access the images, the form, the links, and anything in this web page. So all these functions are available on the documentation of RSelenium, which can be accessible from here. So you can go to RSelenium here, and you can see a documentation of all these methods. We have some useful methods such as go back, go forward, refresh. Let's see some useful methods. For example, find elements. So we can find elements by name, by CSS, by XPath. So I will take a simple example here. So I'll copy paste this code again in R. Let me minimize this. So I paste this code. So what's happening here? Connection.navigate, again, google.com/ncr, the search page. I'm creating a web element variable which will access the function find element. So find element will take two arguments. The first one is by, so using name or using ID or using XPath, etc. And the second one is the element or the XPath expression. So now it's by name, so the value is Q. So simply if we go here and right click and inspect this element, so sorry, right click, inspect. So anyway, I will not waste the time on searching for the name, but the name is Q. Back to our RStudio code. So, and then we will navigate to another function, get element attribute name. So we will get element by attribute. Which attribute name? So simply I will get Q, I think. So if we execute this code, so I will get a Q because I send the request to find an element by name, which has a name Q, and then I will get the attribute of this element, which is Q as well. We can use a lot of functions. For example, let me open the session here and the RStudio again. So I can say connection, go back. So simply we'll click here. So I'm just automating this step. So go back, we'll go back. Go forward, so go one step forward, and another functions as well. So for example, refresh. So I can click here, connection, refresh. So to refresh the web page, as we see. So you can as well follow the full documentation on this link. And thank you for watching my video, and I hope that you have interest from this tutorial. Thank you.